In this lesson, we're going to be discussing conditional probability, which contains a condition that may limit the sample space for an event. You can use a special notation to indicate conditional probability, and it reads the probability of event B given event A. Let's look at an example. Here we have a conditional probability where the table shows the results of a class survey, and the survey indicates female and male and whether they own a pet or do not own a pet. So we want to find the probability that the respondent owns a pet given that they are female. So the conditional probability limits the sample space, and the limit is based on this given part of the condition. So we're looking at only the females. We want to determine the total number of females in the survey, and that will be the denominator of our fraction or our probability, because that is our entire sample space. We are limited to only looking at the females. Then we'll determine the number of females who own a pet, and that will be the numerator of our probability. We'll set up a fraction, 8/14, for the probability of females who own a pet, and then we'll simplify the fraction to 4/7, or approximately 0.57. Again, the denominator of your probability will be determined by the condition that follows the given bar in your probability statement, and then the numerator will be limited to items or people who fall into the category of the condition. Let's look at example 2. This table shows a class survey where the students did or did not wash the dishes last night and whether they're male or female, and we want to find the probability that the student washed the dishes last night given that they were male. So we're looking only at the males in the group. Again, we need to find the total. There are 13 females and there are 15 males, and again, we are only looking at the males for this particular one. And so our denominator is limited to only the total number of males. Our condition restricts us to male respondents to the survey. And then within that, we will determine how many washed the dishes. And there were 7 out of 15 who washed the dishes, which is approximately 0.47. In the next example, we are going to use the data in the table to find the probability that a sample of not recycled waste is plastic. So we're only focusing on the non-recycled waste, and so that's just the items in this column. And so we'll need to find the total for that column to determine how much of the waste was not recycled. So the total for this column is 156.3, and so that will be the denominator of our probability. And then within that group, we want to find how much was plastic, and that's right here, so 20.4, which gives us approximately 0.13. So the probability that non-recycled waste was plastic is about 13%. We have a conditional probability formula for any two events A and B from a sample space where probability of A does not equal 0. It's the probability of A given B equals the probability of A intersect B over the probability of B. And notice that our denominator comes from the condition part of the statement. Let's try an example using our formula. So first thing I would like to do is identify the given statement, and that establishes the denominator of our probability, and then we'll find the intersection or the overlapping pieces of data. It says researchers asked people who exercise regularly whether they jog or walk. 58% of the respondents were male, 20% of all respondents were males who said they jog. Find the probability that a person randomly selected jogs given that they are male. So we are looking for the probability that a person jogs given that they are male. So the condition that we're looking for is male. So we want to find the probability that a respondent is male and that will be the denominator. So it says that 58% of the respondents were male, and so that will go in the denominator of our fraction. Now we want to find the probability of A intersect B. In this case, that's males who jog, and it's 20% of all respondents were males who said they jog. That will give us the numerator, 20%. Then we'll divide 20 by 58 to get 34. So 34% of male respondents said they jog. Let's take another look at our pet owning survey in the context of the formula we've been given. We were looking for the probability that a student owns a pet given that the student is female. And so that will be the probability that they own a pet and they're female over the probability of female. So the probability that the person owns a pet intersect female will occur right here. Here's female, and here's owns a pet. And the intersection is 8. And then the probability that a person in the whole survey is female is 14. There's a total of 14 females in the survey. So we'll divide to get 57% for the probability that a female respondent owns a pet. Now you're ready to practice on the worksheet that's included with your Day 8 resources. Good luck!